Our final panel will take a look at military spouses and the important role they play in recruiting, or can play in recruiting. So Margot is going to lead us in this discussion. The floor is yours, Margot.
Thanks, Beth. So I have the honor and pleasure to be moderating today's MSTA alumni panel, which stands for the Military Spouse Technology Academy that was active in 2019 to 2020. My dad served in the Navy for 24 years, and see my mom as a proud military spouse has definitely made an impact on me today, and now advocating for male spouse on the partner engagement side. But before we dive in, I will have our panelists provide a quick introduction, starting off with Jacqueline and following the order on what's on the screen. Jacqueline?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me today. I am Jacqueline Wittes. I am a product manager at Microsoft in the Visual Studio subscriptions, or sorry, visualstudio.com. I just switched projects. So I came to the MSTA program after deciding I wanted to try and get into tech. It was almost a 20-year employment gap, full-time employment gap. And I was going to a networking event. And I remember it took 3 years for this journey, right? So I was looking at my husband on the way to this event, and I said, if nothing turns out of this one, it's going to be my last. Tech doesn't want me, and that turned out to be the event where I learned about MSTA, and then from there had the subsequent journey back into tech, and it was very beneficial in that, crucial, I should say, in getting me towards that goal. So happy to be here and can't wait to share more insights.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Move over to Sheila.
Hi everyone, my name is Sheila Wang. I am a senior Power Platform developer that currently work for SMX. I was a graphic design student before I participated in MSTA. I learned Azure, C#, and a lot of wonderful skills that lead me to become a Power Platform developer. It's a really new area. It's wonderful to join the program and be where I am right now. Thank you.
Thanks, Sheila. I'll pass it over to Laura.
Hello, everyone. I'm Laura Cardona. I am currently an Analytics Specialist Solutions Architect at Amazon Web Services, but I did start out in MSTA back in 2019 in the pilot program here in San Antonio, Texas. So that was my first transition into anything technical. So grateful that I had that opportunity and happy to share more. I was a military spouse, 16 years out of my husband's 20 years of Army career.
Thanks, Laura. And I'll pass it lastly over to Dr. Ruth.
Yes, hi. My name is Ruth Isibuke. I work in Microsoft as a Director of Business Management and Chief of Staff within Power Platform. I was part of the pioneering MSTA set along with Jacqueline. And so both of us got hired at Microsoft afterwards. So I've been at Microsoft for 5+ years now. And it's been a very thrilling journey. I'll tell you that. MSCA just gave me that opportunity to hit refresh in my life because I had taken a break from corporate, moved over to Korea with my husband at the time, had a surprise baby. I had thought I was done with having kids, and that came along. So it was so many things were going on, and we moved back, and I was like, what the heck am I going to do now? I felt so down. I just lost the confidence in myself, in my abilities, and so on. And this opportunity came, and so I said, hey, why not? Right? I hadn't gotten a job by then. We had just moved back from Korea, and I did it, met wonderful people, gained my confidence back, and the rest is history. So we'll talk about that a little bit here. I'm delighted to be here. I'm forever grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. And I'm Margot. I serve as the Partner Engagement Manager. So I wanted to start off with highlighting their experiences with your guys' impact and learning with asking, how have you applied what you learned from the program in your current role or daily life? And in what ways has the program contributed to your personal growth or development? And I'll start off with Jacqueline.
Yeah, so I have to chuckle at this question because I was in the cloud server administration track and then got hired in developer division, which has absolutely nothing to do with the curriculum. But what I did learn in that program that I took immediately into that role was the confidence that I had to learn things quickly. That even that curriculum that we're going to, I didn't know what a server was really when I started, other than the basics of buzzwords going out. But that was one of the first questions I asked, like, can we be on the same page? What is a server? Just to make sure I understood the complexity of what we were doing. And so that brought me into that role with there's at least the confidence to learn. And I did. Within a couple of months, I was actually put in charge of releasing Visual Studio to the world. And again, I say it all the time, tell the story that everything felt like the Charlie Brown teacher over my head, like, wah, wah, wah. But eventually it stopped feeling like that. And then I could contribute and grow. And still, I'm here 5.5 years later with a couple different projects and moved to different teams within the same org. But it's been a really fabulous journey. And as far as even bringing it into the personal life and personal growth, is it's given me a platform to give back to the community. And I started really deep diving into LinkedIn and how can I help other military spouses, other veterans transitioning. And during the pandemic, I started just an open mentorship call with whoever wanted to join. And at first it was all military focused, but then other people caught on, and now we have up to 100 people showing up weekly with job search advice, veterans transitioning, and all of that came from this platform. I would have never even had the confidence to post on LinkedIn because it would have been for successful people with a job, and this whole life that I have in front of me would have just not been possible without this program being at that pivotal crux of my journey, and I'm happy to give back as much as I can for it.
Thank you. And then I wanted to see, Sheila, if you wanted to share your experience.
Yes, I want to mention I learned the most from that program is linking skill. Is first is how you network with people on LinkedIn. I was really afraid to send out first message out, but they just say have a template, say what you want to do, and be humble and to ask for advice. That's where I start my LinkedIn journey. Right now, I use LinkedIn to connect with peers that have similar backgrounds, seek mentorship from people have the position I aspire to, and also, of course, I use my LinkedIn profile to attract recruiter, tailor my content to specific job description, and using strong word to bypass AI, that kind of stuff. I also help with my friends, like, you're looking for a job, let me see your LinkedIn first. Is that what you're looking for or something? We will tolerate a little bit. And also another great things I learned from the program is, like Jacqueline said, to help other people is, I think growth doesn't really come from isolation. You need to seek for help and help other people. That's what I learned most from MSTA. Yeah.
Perfect. And then I'll go Laura, and then over to Dr. Ruth.
Sure. Yes, the MSTA program was so good for me. So not only was it my first exposure to technical training, but it had so much of an emphasis on, once again, the networking, the resume building, the interviewing skills. And what it really gave me is a framework of how to look at all of my I guess, life's history, whether or not I was working or not, right? And be able in the past and extract my skills into being able to present that as a cohesive story to a potential employer. And so that was really pivotal for me because I came in with, I don't want to say a lack of confidence in my ability, but a lack of confidence in the sense of, having those career gaps. And I think kind of a little bit of a loss of identity, which is so much life change, right? And so that really kind of stretched my thinking of, I do have a lot to bring to the table. I just need to piece it together, the experience I've been through and present my strengths appropriately. So I am really grateful for that program and that I had such targeted support at that time in my career transition as well. So I'm forever grateful to MSTA.
Thanks, Laura. Dr. Ruth?
Yes. So for me, I think +1 to everything that has been said. But I think that in addition to that, the premise of MSTA being developed to provide knowledge and skills to help us work, to help military spouses work remotely was a life-changing, right? Because it helped us prepare, to learn how to work remotely, to be able to network, to be able to collaborate, work productively, manage our tasks efficiently, while staying connected to each other, regardless of location. So I think, that was very good for me because it also brought hope because it's like, well, you don't have to go in the office. You don't have to quit your job this time because you're moving again, right? You can gain these skills. You can continue to use them regardless of where you are, as long as you have the opportunity to. And so when I had the offer with Microsoft, I actually got 2 offers with Microsoft, and then the third was in the pipeline. I took the one that offered the most flexibility, where my manager was like, "You're driving all the way from JBLM. With traffic, that's 2.5 hours every morning. No, you don't have to come in. Just come in when you can." And so it was a no-brainer. So I took that. So I think the MSTA gave me that platform and hope to build the skills and also know that I could be successful working remotely. And in terms of growth, I would say, like I mentioned when I introduced myself, that confidence and reassurance that you can continue to be adaptable. Because as military spouses, we move, we have to adapt, start again, get new contacts, new schools for the kids. It's just, never ending. But then also for one's career, you could also move and adapt, based on the skills you now have, right? So I think it opened the career opportunities, for all of us, and the belief once again in ourselves and knowing that we could, regardless of the dynamism of the work environment, we could thrive, right? And finally, I think building community, like during the MSTA for me, I did a book club where, again, we read Heat Refresh, and just learning about the growth mindset and the fact that it's never too late to start again. You can always learn something new. I had a PhD in economics, very different from what I came to do in the MSTA. But that was just for me the demonstration of having the growth mindset and being willing to start again and learn something new, like everybody else has said. And yeah, and so I guess those are my biggest learnings.
Thank you guys so much for sharing your unique experiences. You guys definitely have brought up plenty of valid points there, and it's just beautiful to see how the program played a role in your personal development. And I wish we had more time for this specific panel, but just to wrap here and follow up with your guys' second question here, I wanted to leave you all with asking if you guys could tell me one key point you would like to let the hiring partners know regarding hiring military spouses at their organization. And we'll go in the same order, starting off with Jacqueline.
Yeah. I have a moment, like you gave me a lump in the throat, Ruth, because I just heard all of us talking about hope and how much this program gave us that when we were, when our identities were so skewed and we become the last 4 digits of our spouse's social security number. Microsoft looked at us and said, we value you. So first of all, military spouses are never going to stop being grateful for opportunities that programs like this give and that hiring them gives. We work hard because of that. We will always work hard because of that. But the point I was going to say in this question was that we never forget what it's like to be new. And that's so important. And I have like this 5-year crystal behind me that I just got shipped to me last week for being with Microsoft there. And I remember someone telling me before, one of our mentors was like, a lot of times we call them crystal people because they have been here so long that they know how everything works. They know what's going on, and often the opinions are a little bit more rigid and whatnot. And when I had the opportunity to pick either cash or the crystal, I was like, give me the crystal, because I never want to forget what it's like to be new. And I want it to remind me that nothing is set in stone and we can always innovate. And so instead of becoming a crystal person, even with my crystal, I just knew that I wanted to be flexible and reach out, build community every chance that I could, and bring others into the fold of tech, not just Microsoft, but in tech, and let other people know they value and they matter. So I will stop there because I'm going to have to grab tissues. Put myself on mute and have a moment.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Sheila?
Yeah, you made me want to cry too, but I'm gonna hold it. I think will be dedication. Hiring military spouse can come with a lot of risk than hiring I will say a normal family personnel, because the constant need to move the family focus due to partner service, that it the company is taking risk to hiring a military spouse, and our military spouse understand that, so we will work harder, we will just work even more dedicated to the job to earn the trust and to become a valuable employee of those company. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Sheila. Laura?
Yes, plus one to all of that. I definitely want to say to potential employers that we are a sure and safe bet. Even though she just mentioned we have risk, in the sense that if you look past some of our resume gaps, and maybe some different even career degrees that don't seem to match, we are resilient, we are tenacious, and we're going to figure it out. Okay. We are going to figure out whatever challenge is put before us. So we might not have mastered every single thing on the resume description or been exposed to it, but if we've set our minds to it, we are going to perform whatever needs to be done. So even after 4 years at AWS, oh my goodness, there's just a mountain of technology to keep learning. And I've had to, create with rhythms and rhythms of learning, right, every day in some way, shape, or form. But my lack does not stop me from delivering for customers and being customer obsessed. And I know how to effectively use my strengths to get the job done. And a lot of those skills came from personal life experiences, not necessarily even career, that were maybe early on in my 20s, where we were put in situations of incredible pressure to figure things out and make things happen. So we don't have the same experiences, obviously, as the vet, but we do have experiences all our own that really have made us realize how strong we are and how much we really are capable of. So we're not afraid to work hard and get the job done. So keep taking chances on us. We thank you so much for your military emphasis in your hiring programs, and we are a sure and safe bet.
Thank you. Dr. Ruth?
Right. So to wrap it up here with that question, when you ask why hire military spouse, my answer to you is why not? Like what's the challenge there? Why don't you want to support national security by helping with the stability of military families? Why not? But on a more serious note, and to recap all that has been said, military spouses have diverse skill sets. We are from different we have different educational backgrounds, like you've heard from all of us. You can hear my accent. I've lived in different places, lived in 4 continents, actually, across the world. And so I bring unique skills. I often see things differently from people on my team, and that's valuable. The educational, qualifications that we have, you'll be surprised to see. I remember being deployed in Korea, and a lot of my best friends in Korea all had PhDs, but we didn't have jobs. We were just home with the kids. So military spouses, you'll be surprised, are quite educated as well. You're supporting military families, like I've said, and just the adaptability and flexibility and resilience and all of that we bring to the table is definitely something you don't want to miss out on. So yes, so please hire military spouses. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for such amazing feedback. I mean, this is exactly why I is really passionate about what we do here at MSSA. And I wanted to thank you for just providing us with your alumni experiences and just stories as military spouse, and being able to see you all blossom into your guys' careers is beautiful. So it's great to see how the MSTA program has influenced you all. This concludes our alumni panel, and I'm going to go and pass it over to Beth. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Margot, and panelists. This one was personal for me too. I had a hard time turning my camera back on because I was tearing up too. So I can relate as a fellow military spouse that it can be very challenging. But as I wrote in the chat, you guys are all just killing it. I'm so impressed by each of you. And thank you for being so vulnerable and really kind of pulling the curtain back and sharing all of that with us. We really appreciate that. And it really helps those who don't have a connection to the military understand some of the sacrifices and some of the struggles. So thank you.